Okay, so I finally had a look at the new Tetris app on Android, and I already found a way to softlock it, and it's pretty bad, because all you have to do to softlock the game is to do what is called a TSCM, or if I say the full thing, a T-spin double mini. So what is this thing? It's quite a mouthful, but what is it exactly? Well, I'll show you. First thing first, before explaining what a T-spin mini double is, I should explain how T-spins in general work. So, whenever you rotate your T-piece, the game checks in 4 corners. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I don't know if it shows well on the recording, but I'm using different colors for these for a reason. The positions of these 2 red corners is relative. It's the ones that are next to like this middle block. The game checks these 4 corners whenever you rotate your T-piece, and if at least 3 of them are either out of bounds or have blocks of the field in them, then the game will count it as a T-spin. However, if 2 of these 2 red corners are not filled, it will count as a mini T-spin instead of a regular T-spin. For a regular T-spin, these 2 corners have to be filled. There is pretty much only one exception to this. The only exception to this is if the last rotation of your T-piece is either from there to there, or from there to there. So it's either from this to this, or from this to this, or like one of the mirror setups. It's pretty much the only 2 exceptions to that. Now, you probably know that you can do regular T-spins, single, double, and triple, but what about minis? Like, most people know about T-spin mini singles, because, say this is the edge of the playfield, there's always one time where accidentally what we do is we have blocks all the way there, and we rotate our T-piece so that it finishes like this, and we clear that line, and all of a sudden the game says T-spin mini single. But what about T-spin mini doubles? Are they possible? Yes, they are. The problem is, it's really not as common as T-spin mini singles, and it's not something you would do on accident, because pretty much the only 2 setups there are some variation of either this or this. The way you do them is, with this one, you start by putting your T-piece there, and you rotate counterclockwise so that it ends up in here, clearing these 2 lines. For the other one, it's a little bit more complicated. You have to start here and do kind of like a regular T-spin triple, where you rotate there. However, if we were to lock that right there, that would count as a regular T-spin double. What you have to do instead is rotate once more down there, and then rotate back. And this is getting really messy, but it's complicated. The point is, T-spin mini doubles are possible, and if you want to do one, I strongly advise that you try this setup, because it is really easy to do. Now, these have been in the game for quite a while. For example, I have here Tetris Party Deluxe on the DS, which released in 2010, and if I were to try and do a T-spin mini double, if you just give me a second. There you go, that's the setup. And you can see that it actually does say T-spin mini double. So they have existed either since that game or prior. Now, this was 10 years ago, and the T-spin detection pretty much hasn't changed since then, and it is the current main used way to detect T-spins and T-spin minis. It works in Puyo Puyo Tetris, it works in Tetris Effects, even in Tetris Ultimate, although the Tetris Ultimate case is kind of funny because the game doesn't have a text for T-spin mini double, so it just displays double, but it actually counts as a T-spin mini because it starts back to back and continues it, which is funny because then you have just back to back double as a thing that the game can show up. But it is now 10 years after this started appearing, so Can someone tell me why a game made 10 years later doesn't understand that this thing exists? This is pretty much the exact same thing as I tried to do in Tetris Party Deluxe, which came out 10 years ago, by the way. There we go, I've got another TPCR. If I try to do literally the exact same thing... Oh, sod off. Okay, attempt 2. This is pretty much the exact same setup as the one I've done in Tetris Party Deluxe. However, when I go to execute it, I'm going to do a pretty cheesy way to do that. I do that, and you can see that nothing happens. And you can see that the game stops reacting to any input, except pause. Because the game just fucking errored or something, and just the game doesn't realize that T-spin mini doubles exist. So yeah, that's how you softlock this stupid game. So with that setup, is that it's really good to just, it's really easy to just like do. Well, it's not really easy, but it's doable out of nowhere. But if I try to do that again, there you go, and it's soft-locked again. So yeah, this is a very quality game. This is what official Tetris is now. Something that cannot even comprehend the mechanics of the bloody game. So yeah, I guess that goes to say that I'm very disappointed in this. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to show. So yeah, see ya.